Just south of Seneca Lake, amidst the rolling vineyards and woodlands in upstate New York's Finger Lakes region, sits a shrine of American motorsport. Watkins Glen International is more than just a racetrack. It's the birthplace of post-war road racing in North America, a worthy test of some of the best drivers to ever sit in a race car. Today, the Glen hosts NASCAR Cup, Xfinity Series, as well as a 6-hour crown jewel, the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, SCCA Pro and Amateur Racing, ARCA Menard Series Racing, and a major vintage event beginning of September. It's also been the home to major concerts and other festivals. Over the years, the Glen has been lengthened once and continually upgraded. A lap around today's Grand Prix circuit still incorporates much of the original layout. The first turn, known as the 90, a right-hander and a good place to pass. Then it's up towards the S's, a series of 3 fast sweeping apexes leading onto the back straightaway. The cars reach their top speed here before hard braking before the bus stop at the end of the straight. Here the track doubles back through the carousel, followed by another long straight and into the fast turn number 10, a quick left-hander that's harder than it looks. The last corner, turn 11, another fast right-hander that leads onto the front straightaway. Racing first came to Watkins Glen in 1948 in the form of the Watkins Glen Grand Prix, an SCCA-sanctioned event that ran on a more than 6-mile course over the back roads of town. The success of that event eventually led to the construction of a permanent facility, the resulting product a little more than a third in length of the original street course. In 1957, the track hosted its first race, a NASCAR Grand National Series event won by Buck Baker over Fireball Roberts. The following year, Formula Libre showed up, and not long after that, Watkins Glen hit the big time. In 1961, Formula One came to the little town by the lake, bringing with it some of the most legendary names in all of motorsports. For the next 2 decades, the home of the U.S. Grand Prix was Watkins Glen. The early 80s saw some tough times for the Glen. F1 held its last race there in 1980, and it was closed to all but spectator-free SCCA meets for about 2 years. Then the track would recover soon enough under new ownership. In 1986, NASCAR's Top Series returned to the Glen, and with it, a whole new renaissance for the track began. Tonight, it's the Lonestar Racing Cup Series PFR SimSport Grand Prix at the Glen, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Watkins Glen International. I think it's our 3rd race here in just about, well, as many weeks. Certainly excited for this one once again to close out our road course portion of HBR TV's broadcasting, at least for this season. More road racing to come in the near future, but we are here for the Lonestar Racing Cup Series. It's going to be a 45-lap event. Again, it is the PFR SimSports Grand Prix at the Glen. Certainly excited for what PFR SimSports has in store for the future. Let's take a look at it, though. Again, 78-degree track temperature, or air temperature for that matter, 55% humidity. As we said, 45 laps the race distance here tonight. Track temperature, 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Relatively cool here at Watkins Glen. Should see some pretty quick times in the practice session. Practice still underway here at the Glen. Let's go trackside and see where everybody's shaking out. Jason Blaney, currently your fast driver at a minute 11:65. Does have a faster lap of a minute 11:38, but there may have been an off track there. It does not count officially. Chris Goins, second quick, then Zach Mecca, P3, Brandon Domain, Sean Roberts, the top 5. Derek Welch and Alfie Charon, Drew Blaze, Kevin Blue, Chris Klein, the top 10. Some guys in here with some road racing backgrounds. Kevin Blue, lots of road racing experience. Chris Goins, the same. Alfie Charon coming right along. Sean Roberts. A lot of these drivers that run this Cup Series also running GT3 in the Lonestar Racing. That season just coming to a close. Just like that, practice is over. We get right into qualifying. Only a 5-minute session here at the Glen, so no hesitation. These guys better get after it. Chris Goins leaving pit lane. See what kind of time the 28 can throw down. Remember, Chris does have a penalty he has to serve at the start of this race for his win last week. It's to start from the rear. Goins out of turn 11 here, takes the green flag on his attempt. Should have enough time to get 2 laps in for those that didn't hesitate. Chris Goins through the carousel, looking pretty clean so far. Doesn't go wide to the curb there. That is kind of the way you consider going in many cases. Goins out of turn 11 here to complete lap number 1. Let's see where he lands. Minute 11:739 puts it P1 for now. Jason Blaney down the back straightaway. Nice and smooth into the bus stop. Pushes out wide in the carousel. Got a little bit too deep. Let's ride on board with Jason Blaney. Take a lap around Watkins Glen. 4th gear, just past the caution light, heavy on the brakes, down into 2nd gear. Blaney goes minute 11:85 his first time through. Back to 3rd gear, hard throttle up the hill, cut it to the left, lift just a bit. 4th gear, out of turn 4, down to the back straightaway. Likely to see 170 miles an hour at the end of this straightaway into the bus stop. 5th gear on the brakes, 4th gear, 3rd gear. Catch the inside curbing there, just barely missed the Armco. Use as much curb as you can here. Easy on entry, you want to keep it pinned down to that inside curb. Don't want to run too wide. Hammer down, back to the throttle on exit. Again, Blaney's keeping it to the right of the curve. A lot of drivers will go real wide there. 3rd gear, 2nd gear, interesting. It's kind of dealer's choice there, 2nd or 3rd. You grab 3rd on exit, now back to 2nd. Oh, a little loose on entry goes Blaney. Back to the throttle, back to the main straightaway. 3rd gear, 4th gear. At the stripe, lap 2, minute 11:81. Does pick up, but not enough for P1. Matt Sisler through turn 11. Minute 12:51 the first lap. Crosses the stripe. Lap 2 for Sisler. Minute 12:202. He does pick up a couple of positions there, but Chris Goins looks like he's going to take the pole position. Qualifying over just like that. Special thanks to Whiplash Sim Cams for their custom camera pack for Watkins Glen. Beautiful overhead shots from the scenic blimp. You can see my campsite from here. Well, with that, let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 1 minute 11.370. It's number 28 of Chris Goins. Outside front row, we rode on board with Jason Blaney. It's the 24 of Jason Blaney. Row number 2, Zach Mecca in the number 23. He'll start in the 3rd position. Brandon Domain will roll from the 4th spot. 5th starter is the number 66 Shenandoah Shine Machine of Sean Roberts. Starting 6th, Matt Sisler with Apex Tech Racing, the number 93. Drew Blaze, Lonestar Racing, number 1. Keep an eye on Drew. He's not a world-renowned road racer, but he's pretty quick. He adapts very quickly. He's going to be a contender here tonight. Derek Welsh, the 01, he'll start to his outside, or in this case, inside as we run clockwise here at the Glen. Kevin Blue, the number 54, starting 9th. PJ Cox, starting from the 10th position. Starting 11th is the real deal, Corey Deal, the number 9, and 12th starter is Jonathan Byram in the 054. Ken Couch, the 08, rolls 13th. Alfie Charon, the 78, starts 14th. Will Hewitt from Outcast Racing, the 33, rolls 15th. Tim Dummermuth, the 16th starter. Dave Coburn, the number 20, out of New York State, he'll start 17th. Mark Mitchell of Hot Lap Heroes, he'll start in the 18th spot. Clay Atwood, the 111, he'll start 19th. Jarrett Woodard, the number 79, starts 20th. And Chris Klein, out of Numb Thumbs Racing, he'll start in the 21st position, shotgun on the field. It's your starting grid here from the Glen as the field begins to roll on one pace lap before we take the green flag the next time by. Cup field paced by the Porsche iRacing safety car. Kevin Blue says, Chris Goins got his grip hacks from Millet. I don't know, Millet was laying down 11.3s in the truck. Remember, Chris Goins did need to go to the rear, even though he did start on the pole position. He'll have to start from the tail. So it's going to move the 23 of Zach Mecca into that pole position, per se, on the racetrack. Jason Blaney is going to start still to the outside. Seems that Blaney's already in a position he's trying to save fuel at this point. It's not necessarily a bad move. Field formed up 2 by 2 through turns 10 and 11. Pace car about to peel off the racetrack. We leave it to Barney the flagman to wave the green. Lockstep at start finish.
Green flag.
Green flag waves. We're in race mode here from the Glen. Mecca gets loose on a 1. Does he overcorrect it? Locks it down. Everybody's trying to scatter. Goes from the front row to the back with, well, close to Chris Goins. Tough break opening lap for Mecca. Didn't make any contact with the Armco or any other driver, so there's that to rely on. Jason Blaney with the race lead out of the carousel. You see some drivers swinging it way wide. Sean Roberts at the line. We kind of expected that to happen for some of these guys. Some say it's faster, some say it doesn't matter. It is a little bumpy out to the left of that curbing off the carousel, but you can keep the momentum up, carry a lot of speed down the straightaway. Lap 1 in the books, though. Jason Blaney leading lap 1. Brandon Domain and Matt Sisler now battling for position. Sisler drives it way deep. Sisler doors the 60 a bit on entry and swings it way wide. Overdrove the entry at turn 1 big time, loses a couple of spots. Meanwhile, first lap and a half, Kevin Blue's already up 3 spots. He's knocking on the door for number 4. Going around the outside on turn 4, down the back straightaway. Handily gets by Matt Sisler as Sisler loses 2 spots in that exchange. Derek Welch takes the position away as well. Sisler very aggressive on throttle through the bus stop. Take a look at that lap 1 again. Zach Mecca on the inside had the preferred position, but this is down into turn 1. Opening lap, gets way too far to the inside of the curb, upsets the balance of that car, tries to save it, has to lock it down. A masterful job for the rest of the field to scatter and get around that 23 machine without making any contact. Matt Sisler back in P6, right where he started. He's taking that position back away from Derek Welch. Welch running in behind the 01 Numb Thumbs gaming machine. Welch still maintaining P7, started in the 8th spot. Let's check on some other drivers here. Alfie Charon, though, he started 14th. He's up 6 positions here in just 4 laps. Oh, we got trouble on a turn 11. PJ Cox gathers it back up. Don't know if there was some contact between PJ Cox and Zach Mecca. Mecca, again, going to the rear of the field early. He's already started to work his way back up through. He's into the top 10 as he goes by Will Hewitt. Chris Goins running in the 12th spot, also having to go to the rear of the field on the start. He's up 9 spots since the drop of the green flag. Brandon Domain having an issue. Looks like this is the carousel just off of the bus stop. A little bit of damage to that machine. Let's try to get a look at it. Oh, just gets on the power, loses the rear end of the car. It over-rotates on that left-hander exiting the bus stop, sends him into the Armco. Honestly, it's a pretty realistic thing to happen, especially in these cars at the Glen. Very common issue. Back out front, Jason Blaney still with the race lead. He's got just under 2 seconds over Sean Roberts in P2. Drew Blaze having a good run here. He's up into P3 already. Started 7th. Looks like Brandon Domain has opted for the pits. Gets some of those repairs done. They do have 3 sets of tires over the wall, more than plenty for here at the Glen. Could almost make this a one-stop race if you had the fuel to do it. They do run a 70% maximum fuel load here. They do have 2 fast repairs, interestingly enough, for tonight's race instead of just 1. Understanding that a lot of these guys, in fact, a pretty good majority of them, don't run road races on the regular. Primarily oval-based racers. Oh, Blaney almost throws it away from the lead up through the S's. He had that thing way on out. Almost got a piece of the Armco in the S's. Got lucky with that one. A little bit too wide on the entry to the bus stop. I don't know if he's struggling for handling here at this point or if he's just pushing too hard. He's got a pretty good advantage over Sean Roberts back in P2. 3.5 seconds rounding down. Sisler running in 5th. Kevin Blue is already up into the 4th position. Kevin Blue starting P9. Hasn't been able to make all the races here this season, but I kind of expected to see him here for this road course race at the Glen. Right in his wheelhouse. Again, Kevin Blue putting together the PFR Sim Sports group. Be putting on a myriad of different road course racing series this spring, summer, and fall. Kevin also the league admin for the GT3 series over at Lonestar Racing, sports car series, you name it. With Kevin Blue up through the S's, looking back at Matt Sisler. Interesting there, listening to Kevin Blue down the backstretch, opting not to grab 5th gear there. One less downshift into the bus stop, but keeping the RPMs maxed out there down the back straightaway. There certainly is room for 5th gear. Curious what that's going to do to the fuel mileage. Kevin Blue running in 4th spot, though, about a 1/10 of a second slower than 3rd place Drew Blaze that last time by. Just about 2 seconds between those 2 drivers. Corey Deal and PJ Cox battling for position. This is the battle for 11th. Yeah, see, PJ's getting the right size right on that curb on the inside of the carousel. There's a lot of grip down there. Corey gets a big run out of the carousel, though. Carries that speed, straightaway speed all the way into turn 10. Now, Deal doesn't get quite low enough there in turn 10. PJ Cox gains some ground back. Oh, locks him up into 11. Now the drag race down the main straightaway into turn 1. Can PJ Cox outbrake Corey Deal down into the corner? Both drivers hard on the brakes. PJ Cox, textbook pass down to turn number 1, takes over the 11th position. Corey Deal back to P12. Sharon running some unfamiliar colors, the number 78. Zach Mecca on the charge once again. Went to the back opening lap after an issue down into turn 1. Worked himself up into the 8th spot and knocking on the back door of Alfie Sharon for 7th position. Takes a look to the inside. Dives it deep into 1, hard on the brakes, locks him up. Got away with that one, gets in front of Alfie Sharon. I thought he was going to get into Derek Welch there for a moment. Welch running in the 6th position. Mecca on the brakes into turn 10, takes the spot away. Another textbook pass. This guy, Zach Mecca, I don't know where he's come from as of late, but he's got some pace. Can certainly get around a road course. I guess the question will remain is how long can he push the way that he currently is? In traffic, Mecca's last lap, 1:13:03. Jason Blaney all by himself in the race lead, 1:12:96. But Sean Roberts, the last time by, fastest on the track, 1:12:67. Yeah, we got trouble. Mark Mitchell in trouble down into, I think, turn 1. He's checked out and gone to the pits. Let's take a look, see if we can catch what happened. Yep, down the main straightaway here. It's the 07. Way to the inside. I don't know if he just missed it. Very interesting. Not sure exactly what the issue there was, but nevertheless, looks like Mark Mitchell might be out of this one. So at the stripe, Jason Blaney once again crosses the line as your race leader. 1:12:49 the last time by. Pace starting to pick up actually for the 24. Something we've kind of seen here with this next-gen Cup car, at least on the road courses. You kind of start getting some fall off early in the run, but as it progresses, here we are, lap 12:13, starts to come in, starts to settle down a bit. The tires seem to cooperate, and now Jason Blaney running laps just under a second off his best of the day. Got a pretty healthy lead right now over the 66 of Sean Roberts back in P2. 5.5 seconds back to the Shenandoah Shine Ford Mustang. It's an all-Ford top 5. Blaney, Roberts, Drew Blaze, Matt Sisler, Kevin Blue, and a couple of Toyotas, Derek Welch and Chris Gomes. Gomes down into turn 10. Certainly had his work cut out for him tonight. He's got 19 seconds to make up if he wants to go fight for the race lead here. Runs in the 7th position. Well, Zach Mecca, after working his way through, he's going to hit pit lane here. You can only assume this is a planned pit stop or a little bit of an undercut. I know a lot of times guys will try to work the race backwards as far as their pit strategy is concerned. Looks like Mark Mitchell's changing some tires. He may come back out. Left side tires being changed. Crew goes around to the right. Of course, we do things backwards here at the Glen as we are a clockwise circuit here at Watkins Glen. But 4 tires and Sunoco Racing fuel. Mecca's down and away. Now we wait to see who else opts for pit lane. Alfie Charon is one of them. He's already in the box. I'm starting to wonder if Alfie got a pit speeding penalty. Right side tires have been changed. He still sits in the pit box here. 30 seconds, 31, 32, and so on. Gonna be another 10, 15 seconds, I would assume, here before he gets a chance to take off. There it is, 40-second penalty. Tough break. Either unsafe entry or speeding on pit lane. Either way, Alfie Charon. Alfie Charon somehow able to chat while he's in the pits. He says, the 23 got me damage and couldn't slow while entering. Have to get our translators on that one. Jason Blaney still in command here and extending that race lead now over the 66 is Sean Roberts. Blaney is getting faster as these tires wear. 1:12:29 now his last lap. Getting closer and closer to his fastest lap of the day. Again, we're 16 laps in. He's yet to hit pit lane. Sean Roberts last time by 1:13:40, so certainly off the leader's pace right now. Drew Blaze has picked up his pace, though. He's a 1:12:75. Matt Sisler is 63. All those drivers in the 1:12 range. So as the tires wear, for at least some of these drivers, the pace is actually going up. Sisler is right there. He's actually about a 10th plus faster per lap right now than Drew Blaze. So given some time, I don't know, pit stops are going to come into play too, but we might see a battle here for P3. That time by as well. Blaze a 10th slower than Matt Sisler. Still about 1.1 seconds back from P3. And once again, Jason Blaney goes purple. For those that know what I'm talking about. 1:12:14, fastest lap. That time by, but Chris Goins goes faster. 1:12:06 for the 28. Drew Blaze slides it way up the racetrack, and again, that could be by design. There's so many different methods to get through the carousel there. Some may sacrifice the entry to build the speed on exit. That looks like that could have been the case with Drew Blaze, trying to carry the momentum down that short chute between 9 and 10. Okay, what they're running on here currently is the most close representative of what Formula One ran prior to the construction of the boot section of the race course. Main straightaway wasn't really straight at the time either. It was considered a big bend. The left-hand turn 10 was also much longer of a corner, not as abrupt as it is today. But this section right here used to be, this was turn 1. Up through the S's here, there was a chicane here at a time during Formula 1 era after the death of Francois Cervert in Formula 1. That was in 73, and then it was removed. Once Formula 1 was gone, they didn't use that chicane. This quote-unquote chicane, the bus stop, added in 1993 after the death of, 92, after the death of J.D. McDuffie down here in the carousel. It was a full-on straight blind corner back in those days. Through multiple incidents, Jeff Bodine, Tommy Kendall, and then of course the death of J.D. McDuffie, they added the bus stop chicane, which honestly, yes, it was done in the interest of safety, but really the bus stop has become an iconic part of the racetrack over the years. Great place for action. You get some spins, you get some crashes, even a passing opportunity if you're brave enough. Deficit between Drew Blaze and Sisler somewhat stabilized here. Sisler still turning laps about a tenth quicker. But really, that was the strong portion of the lap for Sisler down into turn 1. He actually gained about two full tenths on Drew Blaze up into the S's. He can pull in here down the backstretch. Matt Sisler getting larger and larger in the mirror, and Drew Blaze drives through the bus stop. Misses the entry, drives it through the grass. That's going to easily open the door for Matt Sisler. He's going to go on by. Let's watch it again here. Just didn't get far enough in. It's too far left of the curb, and he recognizes it right away and bails out on the attempt to try and get into the bus stop properly. It's really the way you've got to do it. You got to recognize that I'm not going to make this corner because you didn't get in close enough. The trick there is to get as far in to the right as you can, almost skim the decals off the right side of that car on the Armco. That's how close you need to get. All four wheels up on the curb, almost hop the curb. If you're too far to the left, well, that's exactly what happens. The car just does not want to turn. Kevin Blue possibly in trouble. He's in pit lane here. Says that he crashed. Let's see. Oh, Chris Goins and Kevin Blue coming together. It looks like turn 10. Let's go further back here. Hard to say exactly from this angle, but it looks like Chris Goins just got to the throttle sooner than Kevin Blue. Gets into the back of the 54. I want to watch this from the onboard with Chris Goins and see what it looked like from his perspective. A little bit of contact under braking getting in. And that may have what upset the balance on Kevin Blue's car, but then Chris goes back to the gas, gets into left rear a little harder this time. I don't know if something precipitated this or what the case may have been, or if this is just inadvertent. Chris does try and check up and get to the left here. Kind of allows Kevin the opportunity to try and save it. Not the best scenario to get to pit lane, but minimal damage, if any, on Kevin Blue, and he'll survive to fight another day. He's back in the 12th spot after his pit stop. Quick stop for Blue, 14.82 seconds, 4 tires and fuel. And we already got 25 laps to go. So with that said, we're going to jump out and get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us, you won't miss a minute of the action. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Watkins Glen International, the rest of the field has completed pit stops with the exception of Will Hewitt. Hewitt remains on the racetrack. He runs in P2, but Jason Blaney, after his stop, has managed to get 4 tires and fuel and back on the track before getting passed by Will Hewitt. 22 laps to go here from Watkins Glen. We are past halfway. Have to wonder, though, if Jason Blaney in the top 5 at the time really stretched the fuel to the very bitter end. It's going to be close to get this one finished without making one more stop. I know we did talk about being able to make this a one-stop race as far as the tires were concerned. Jason Blaney may need to save some fuel to make it all the way to the end as Will Hewitt makes his pit stop. Keep an eye on this as it goes. Obviously, Will was able to go further. If it's close for fuel for Jason Blaney, Will Hewitt's in the catbird seat. So through that cycle, though, Jason Blaney has extended his race lead to 12 seconds. Meanwhile, Matt Sisler and Drew Blaze and continue to battle for position. Sisler in front. Chris Klein running in the 14th spot behind these drivers. Sisler putting more distance between himself and the one of Drew Blaze. Derek Welch currently running in the 5th spot, started 8th. Chris Goins right on his back bumper as they work out of the S's. Goins with the run. See what he has to do with it here down into the bus stop. Goins tried to go side by side. It didn't pay off. Open the door. Zach Mecca closing in rather quickly. He's been fast all afternoon. Made a mistake on that first lap. I think Jason Blaney would have his hands full if that hadn't have happened. Derek Welch, Chris Goins, Zach Mecca. This is the trio we continue to watch. Sean Roberts just put down his fastest lap of the race. In fact, it is the overall fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 11.54. Starting to get into qualifying times. Meanwhile, Jason Blaney ran a 12.87, so much slower than second place running Sean Roberts. Roberts has certainly cut into that race lead. It was over 12 seconds. Now it's 10.6. Certainly no small margin, but if he continues on this pace, he's got 19 laps to go. There's a chance. Still the battle for third, Matt Sisler and Drew Blaze. Drew Blaze is closing in, getting a little bit closer each lap. Was almost a full second faster than Matt Sisler the last time by. Sisler, a little mistake in the bus stop, saves it, loses some ground though. Drew Blaze is all over him now. Car length off the back bumper of the 93 through the carousel. Drew also had to be careful not to run over Sisler as he was trying to save that car. Wasn't sure if he was going to keep it straight. He managed to, but it certainly closed down the gap between these two cars. Last time by, Blaney still about a half second slower than second place running Sean Roberts. Don't think there's enough time left in this thing. Roberts is going to have to run a half second lap faster every single lap until this one's over. And even then, I don't think it's going to be enough. It's 10.4 seconds back as it is. Time will tell. Sisler still maintaining. Oh, he's loose again in the bus stop. dirt tracking it through those corners. You don't want to do that too many times. It's also going to add a bunch of heat into those rear tires for certain. It's very difficult to get them cooled off. We've got a car spinning off the carousel. It's the 111 of Clay Atwood. Watching a relative, making sure everybody gets on by. It's clear to go. And working local only as far as cautions are concerned. No full course caution. And also no grip in the grass. If Atwood's got some damage, it looks like he does. Yeah, right front just comes off. Oh yeah, big time toe link failure in the right front. For all the time it took him to try and straighten it out, I think he probably would have been better off trying to tow. Just don't want to see him get crossed up and take out another competitor. Leader Jason Blaney comes through. Atwood safely making it to pit lane. Jason Blaney still your race leader, and that, again, the distance back to second place. Sean Roberts has stabilized. Might have even increased slightly. Lap times between the two starting to get more equal once again. Blaney at 12:57, Sean Roberts at 12:39. You watch Blaney get into the bus stop. It's like clockwork every time. All four wheels over that curbing, coming into that first right hand on the entry to the bus stop. And you literally jump the car. In many cases, it actually gets all four wheels off the ground, and you're hitting the brakes just as soon as it lands. Zach Mecca in trouble. We just caught the tail end of it. Let's see what happened. Oh, same thing. Just goes a little too wide. Gets up on the curbing, kind of high sides the car. What did he hit, I guess, is the other question. Oh, he hits the tires. So Zach goes right to the pits there, but looks like he had another issue soon after that. Let's take a look at it. Or this is the same one? This is the same one. Very fast Zach Mecca. We'll never really know where he would have ended up here. Again, he had his struggles on lap one. I still think that he would have been a contender with Jason Blaney here at the pace that Mecca had. Just not to be. Jason Blaney, dominating performance here at the Glen so far. Maintaining a 10-second advantage over P2, Sean Roberts. Back to this third place battle, it just won't end. Matt Sisler, Drew Blaze, and now you've got Chris Goins into the mix as well. Goins again with the EOL penalty, had to start out back. He's worked his way into the top 5 here with 13 laps to go. On board with Chris Goins. See if he can reel in these two. Drew Blaze, Matt Sisler. Sisler is certainly no slouch. Interesting gear selection there. Second as you're already in the bus stop. Haven't seen that much today. Maybe a product of tire wear, or maybe just the driving style of Chris Goins. Certainly gives him a good exit on the carousel. Sisler keeps it to the right of the curb. Blaze and Gones both go left. Something amiss with Matt Sisler. Not sure what the situation is here with the 93, but he pulled to the right and let these two drivers go on by. I find that very interesting. I don't know what the reason for that was. It almost seemed like it was coming to pit lane or out of fuel, but we got plenty of laps to go. Plenty of fuel still on board unless he just didn't get it full. Sisler back under power, though, on a turn 4 down the backstretch. It's really opened the door for Chris Gones, though, as he's all over the back bumper of Drew Blaze into the bus stop. Gives him a little room to make the entry. Meanwhile, Blaney has started to extend his lead over Roberts. Now it's 12 seconds with 12 laps to go. Okay, so we got Physics. Not sure who Physics is, but he's in our stream chat. Says the 93 had a slowdown penalty. Trying to think of where he could have got it. Maybe the bus stop, I don't know. Either way, it cost him 2 spots. So now Chris Gones up into P4 here. Let's see if he can do anything with Drew Blaze. Man, that was close. Blaze almost getting into the Armco. We've seen that a couple of times with some drivers. Our leader, Jason Blaney, being one of them. Almost throwing the race away early on. Chris Gones looking to the inside. Drew Blaze slides it up the racetrack, but he slams the door. I don't know if Drew was actually clear there. That was a close one. It seems like Chris Gones had to really stand on the brakes to avoid contact with the one. Ten laps to go. This is the battle for the third position. Drew Blaze has it. Chris Gones running along there in P4. Good exit out of turn 1. Closes the gap into the S's. He's right there. Has to lift just a bit. That lift really cost him because it kills all that momentum down the straightaway. Closest battle on the racetrack here for the third spot. Drew Blaze trying to hold off Chris Gones. Can he get this done here for the next 9 laps? Oh, he locks him up on entry. Goes real wide, does Drew Blaze. That's going to open the door for Gones into the S's. That'll settle it. You saw it as we rode on board with Drew Blaze. He did get on the brakes just a tick later than Chris Gones. Had to use a little bit too much brake pressure, locked up the tires, went wide on the exit of turn 1, and the position goes to Chris Gones. So now your top 3, it's Blaney, Roberts, Chris Gones. Now Drew Blaze in P4, Sisler in 5th. This battle isn't over with, though. These guys are all still right here together. Clay Atwood having an issue on track. He's already gone back to the pits. Let's see what happens again here to the 111. Oh, tank slapper. So 8 laps remaining for Jason Blaney as he increases his lead to 14 seconds now over Sean Roberts. We got Haley in the stream chat. How you doing, Haley? Thanks for stopping in. A little next gen racing at Watkins Glen. Tell you, super impressed with Jason Blaney and the pace that he's been able to throw down here tonight. Coming to 7 laps to go. He does have his A license in road course, but his I rating is not the greatest. It's only about a 980. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's bad on him, because clearly he's putting on a clinic here at the Glen right now. And doing it against some guys that have some road racing experience. I know it's kind of tough to gauge here with Chris Goins because he had to start last. Change of position here, Sisler and Blaze. Sisler to the inside down into turn 1. Does it the old-fashioned way. I think he's got the position. Move Matt Sisler to P4 as Drew Blaze starts losing some spots here. He's back to 5th. Oh, man. Sisler. We've seen it with a bunch of guys tonight. Almost getting into that Armco. Using all of the racetrack. Sisler trying to run a defensive line here to protect that entry into the bus stop. Oh, he gets the grass a little bit. 7 laps to go. Going to be 6 here momentarily. There it is. Sisler got the pass done, but he's got to settle in here. He's got Drew Blaze looking to the inside into turn 10, trying to take it back. Now this opens the door a little bit here. Nope, Sisler gets back in front, clears Drew Blaze into 11. Blaze is going to have a good run out of here. It looked like he was going to have real fast pace out of 1. Didn't materialize. It really seemed like he had a better exit, but I guess not. Will Hewitt running in the 7th spot. Not having an incredible day, but having a good one nonetheless. Not notably a road racer by any means, but started back in the 15th spot, and he's in the top 10 here comfortably. Still watching this battle. Some lap traffic coming into the mix. Ken Couch, the 08 to the left. Blaze is picking up a slipstream down the backstretch here, and again, Sisler taking a defensive line, but Blaze taking a look. I think he's just trying to get in the head of Sisler here to force a mistake. Real wide goes Blaze. He's going to build a ton of speed. He's going to lose a lot of ground because that's the long way around. laps to go here from Watkins Glen. We still watch the battle for the fourth position. Chris Goins with P3 as he's run away from those two as they continue to fight. Sisler starting to gain an advantage here. He's probably 5, 6, 7 car lengths ahead of Drew Blaze now. Less than 4 laps remain. Though both drivers very close in lap time the last time by. Sisler was at minute 12.89 and Drew Blaze a minute 12.88. They are right there. Well, Blaze is faster at this point. He is not fast enough to catch Sisler if he maintains that pace. Meanwhile, Chris Goins just running the fastest lap of his race, or at least that last lap, a minute 11.99 for Chris Goins. His fastest lap, a minute 11.56. Sean Roberts a tick quicker, 11.54. Not much of a battle anymore for the 4th position, but it really is the closest one on track for position. Haley in the stream chat reminding me once again, it's time to hit that thumbs up. It helps, and it's free to do. It certainly is. She's right on all accord. Hit that like button. It helps the stream. It helps the league. It helps everybody. And as Haley said, it's free. Help us out. Two laps to go here from the Glen. Jason Blaney, I think, has managed to lead every lap thus far. Qualified outside front row. Chris Goins took the pole position, had to go to the back for the EOL win penalty. It's another thing that makes you wonder what could have been, because Goins, with road racing background, running laps faster than our race leader right now. Granted, he's 25 seconds back from that race lead. But thinking about where he started tonight's race, he is definitely one of the faster guys out there, if not the fastest. White flag in the air, final lap for Jason Blaney. Down into turn number 1. Last lap for Blaney was a minute 12.28. No pressure out the back. He's got 15 seconds of an advantage over P2 Sean Roberts. Another 25 plus back to Chris Goins. Some lap traffic. He may come into the mix here. Corey Deal down the back straightaway. Three more turns to go. The carousel, left-hand turn 10, right-hand turn 11. Jason Blaney will wrap up a dominating performance here at the Glen. Lap traffic not going to play a factor for Jason Blaney. One more right-hand turn, turn 11, back to the main straightaway. Looking for a checkered flag here from the Glen. Jason Blaney takes it. He will win PFR Sim Sports Grand Prix at the Glen. Already in celebration mode. Very happy Jason Blaney taking the checkered flag here at Watkins Glen. We're going to jump out, get a break out of the way. Back with our top three finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Watkins Glen International, PFR Sim Sports Grand Prix at the Glen in the books. Jason Blaney, your race winner. So you can pull the driver, the number 22, up into the broadcast booth. 24, that is. Jason Blaney at Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got us?
I got you guys.
Jason, congratulations, man. A dominating performance here tonight. Started outside front row, but I think you managed to lead every lap here tonight. Chris Goins, the pole sitter, having to go to the rear. Unable to really put on the charge and compete with you tonight. But walk us through your race. I didn't really peg you as a road course guy, but man, you put on a clinic here tonight.
Yeah, I try not to publicize that too much, but that's it's actually the way I got into racing, was road courses even before stock cars. But I don't know, man. I took a few extra days on practice because I knew my Chicagoland performance wasn't the best last week, so I needed to figure out how to minimize the loss from that week. And road course has always been my thing. These next gens, some people get them, some people don't. Luckily, my buddy Wesley Jeanette, one of my teammates, he has good knowledge on this, so he tries to walk me through all of it and give me the ideas on how to maintain speed and not overdrive it. In the practice session earlier today that I was running on my own, I couldn't hit below a 112, and once I got in the lobby, I figured that the track was a little cooler. I started hitting 111, so it kind of put me in a good position. Honestly, I thought I was going to have to battle just a little bit more, but with the pole sitter after the EOL went off track, it kind of gave me a little bit of a gap to be able to just drive away. I was trying to maintain my gaps, not overdrive the car, and I think the rest of the field took tires, and I just did a fuel stop. I figured stay on the warm tires versus try and heat up a new set, and I guess the strategy worked, my man.
Very interesting strategy play. So you did not take tires on that stop. I'm looking at the pit stop, a 12.83 second stop. Really not a huge gain, a 3-second gain, and the advantage that you had on pit entry anyway. I find it very interesting, though. You had some pretty solid laps. Even your final lap of the race was a minute 12.6. The same as second place Sean Roberts, who took tires. So that's something to kind of put in the notebook, I think, going forward for some of these road races.
Yeah, if there's a tip that I guess is given away now, these tires don't really wear that much on these next gens, so you're better off staying on what's warm, and other than trying to heat up another set and take those down laps, because those can be pretty detrimental with these cars, depending on what track it's at. So, yeah.
Couple of close calls that we witnessed here tonight. You coming up through the S's, had that car somewhat sideways, almost got a piece of the Armco. That was scary enough in itself, but then going back to lap 34 through the bus stop with, I think it was Ken Couch, trying to stay wide. You drive the car off into the grass, almost get a piece of the wall there as well, man. Walk us through that situation.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's been super respectful. I don't think he did it out in ill intent. I know he was trying to get out of the way, but he just caught a little bit of that last part of the grass on that last rumble strip and kicked his car sideways. So it was kind of an avoid maneuver that definitely could have changed the outlook on the race. But just not a good spot to pass lap cars through that bus stop. I was trying to be patient, but it was just trying to slow down the car wasn't happening enough, and him getting off track was a little bit different. But I know he messaged me over chat right after that all happened over mic chat, and he said he was trying to get out of the way and he apologized for it. So it's just what happens, man. When you're a little bit off pace and you're trying to do what you can, sometimes you're trying to do everything you can to not be in the leader's way, and things happen. But I'm glad he apologized. I know it happens. If it was me in the situation, I'd probably end up doing the same thing. So.
Well, Jason, either way, you come home with the checkered flag here tonight, so congratulations there. Next week, we go into Texas Motor Speedway. How do you feel about your odds out of Texas?
That's a given. That's depending on when I show up track. Sometimes I run good there. Sometimes I can't get 1 and 2 figured out, so it's kind of going to be a toss-up on that aspect. I know I got to have somewhat of a decent race to be able to maintain the second that I keep bouncing in and out of in the standings, so we're going to put a few extra days of practice in that and see if we can come out with something else good there next week.
All right, Jason. Well, again, a job well done here at the Glen. We're going to let you go, man. Who do you want to shout out to?
I want to shout out everyone on my team, Field on Motorsports. Nate Line for the spot and crew chief every week. He does an amazing job being able to just have me focus on the car and keep me in the game. New HD Media for giving me the privilege to race this league and this car every week. So big shout out to them. Swift Home Buyers, Clark Heating and Cooling, W Energy, WJM Motorsports for bringing us on as a farm team, helping us take our advantages on growing in the sim and getting more outreach. Definitely big shout out to those guys. Admin Box also. Just all the people that are in here that allow us to be able to afford this expensive sim and be able to keep doing what we do every week. You guys in the booth, obviously, and everyone that runs Lonestar, they do a great job with this league.
All right, Jason. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Wish you the best of luck next week at Texas.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
It's Jason Blaney, your race winner here at Watkins Glen. Next, we're going to pull Sean Roberts, our runner-up, into the broadcast booth, the driver of the number 66 Ford Mustang. Sean Roberts, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Hey, loud and clear, Steve.
Sean, congratulations, man. P2 after starting 5th this afternoon. You had a fast race car tonight, but was there anything you could have done to run down Jason Blaney and put on the charge?
Maybe at the end, if I had a bad run through the bus stop and kind of shook me up trying to run it the way I did through the bus stop like that. And with being so close to the race, I didn't want to end up sticking the car in the Armco somewhere, so I backed off the pace and just settled for second.
Well, either way, sometimes it's better to be smart than push too hard. So a nice job. A second place finish is where you ended up finishing, so that's a plus. Next week we go to Texas Motor Speedway. Certainly not a road course by any means, but you seem to be fast just about everywhere we go. How do you feel about your odds next week?
To be honest, each one of these races is new to me. I have very little experience in these Cup cars coming into the season, so basically every single track I'm learning how this thing drives.
Well, so far, so good. It seems to drive well on a road course for you, so a job well done. We congratulate you for that. We're going to let you fly here and get Chris Goins up in the booth. But, Sean, who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Big shout out to the guys at Shenandoah Shine on the, I got it on the side of the car. K Designs for the livery that's sitting on it. And then if anyone wants to try to find any of my videos that I post, I'm on YouTube. I don't have anything special right now, so you have to search, LSR or Sean Roberts, and you should be able to find my videos.
All right, Sean. Well, again, thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Sean Roberts, your runner-up here at the Glen. Next, we're going to pull our pole sitter into the booth, Chris Goins, driver of the number 28 AgentDotson.com machine. Chris, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir, Steve. What's going on?
Chris, congratulations first and foremost on pole position. You won the race last week. You win the pole here tonight in a top 3 finish after going to the back at the start, man. Tell us about your night, how you worked your way through the field, and what could have been if we didn't have the EOL tonight.
Well, for all intents and purposes, it wasn't really that bad. A lot of patience, for the most part. I think Kevin caught the lack of patience there one time, which I apologize for, but just miscalculation. But otherwise, just kind of be patient, work my way through all the chaos, and just try and be there at the end. And luckily, it worked out in our favor. If I didn't have the AOL, I think I could have at least challenged Jason for a while there for the front. But he had a heck of a race. He had good pace all night. So congrats to him.
Interestingly enough, Jason Blaney did not take a single set of tires all race long. You had the pace at the end. In fact, out of the top 3, the last lap, you had the fastest of those top 3 by about 0.6. So I don't know, a longer race maybe. Who knows? Maybe a break, a caution break. I know we don't do stages over here in LSR, but super impressed with the run here tonight. You've definitely impressed us here at HBR TV.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was begging Drew for a competition caution, but he wouldn't let me have it. So, but no, it was a good race. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can continue the momentum next week. I think it's at Texas.
So next week is indeed Texas Motor Speedway. Certainly much different than a road course. How do you feel about your odds out of Texas on that quad oval?
I'm not sure yet. Texas, ever since they redid the layout and updated 1 and 2. I haven't really had that great of luck there. I was pretty good on the old one, but we'll see. We'll put some practice in this week, see if we can get some pace together, and just try and keep it up front at the end of the race next week.
Well, as we said, congratulations on a wonderful finish here tonight. A strong run going from the back of the pack up into P3. Certainly good luck next week. But who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yep, just want to thank the guys over at LSR for putting on the league. It's solid league every season, so I appreciate them doing that. Obviously, you at HBR for putting on the broadcast. Definitely can go back and see where I screwed up. And but AgentDotson.com, Watercraft. They not only do cars, but they do watercraft as well. So I wanted to put them on the car this week. Stivers Automotive Group, Track Bar Media. Other than that, I think that covers everybody. So.
All right, Chris. Well, again, congratulations on P3 here, and good luck at Texas.
I appreciate it, Steve.
It's Chris Goins, your third-place finisher here at the Glen. Let's take a look at our overall race results. There we go. Jason Blaney, of course, your race winner. Sean Roberts, P2. Chris Goins, we just spoke to, was P3. Matt Sisler was 4th. Drew Blaze, P5. Derek Welch is strong, P6. Will Hewitt, same thing. He said so himself. First full-on road course race he's been able to complete without screwing something up. A solid finish for the 33 Will Hewitt. PJ Cox was 8th. Brandon Domain was 9th. Corey Deal 10th. Kevin Blue 11th. Ken Couch brought it home in the 12th position. Chris Klein was 13th. Alfie Charon was 14th. Dave Coburn was 15th. Clay Atwood, P16. 17th was Zach Mecca. Zach had a strong run here today. Ended up starting on the front row simply just because Chris Goins had to go to the back. Had a problem into turn 1. Almost got wrecked. Gathered it back up. Lost a ton of track position. And then ultimately had some other wrecks throughout the course of the race that really put him out of this thing. So 17th for Mecca. 15 laps down. Tim Dummermuth was 18th. Jonathan Byram was 19th. Mark Mitchell 20th. And last but not least, the Canadian of Jarrett Woodard, 37 laps down. It's going to wrap it up for us here at Watkins Glen International. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you for the stream chatters. Of course, Haley, as always, our regular. She's always here. And if you haven't already checked out the website, hbrtv1.com. We got a photo gallery. We've got the live channel on the upper right corner. Just click the live button there, and you can watch our live streams for that day. We try to update that every single day. We put up the post-race pictures there after the fact, either the night of or the following morning. But we do appreciate you guys watching it there. Check us out also on Facebook and YouTube. The likes make a difference, specifically on YouTube, because that's where we do all of our streaming. It's the easiest thing for you all to do. You're watching the race on the channel anyway. Just click that like button when you check in. You don't need to stick around the whole time. We want you to, but hitting that like button really is what makes the biggest difference. So if you could do that, we'd certainly appreciate it. It helps the channel and it helps the league. So with that said, I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Congratulations to Jason Blaney and the dominant performance here at Watkins Glen. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.